Fox 19 Now, this is a breaking news alert.
Time now 8 o'clock, and we're following some big breaking news on this Friday. I'm Amber Jayon.
I'm Dan Wells. That breaking news right now, the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge, or the Big Mac Bridge, is shut down this morning after an initial vehicle fire.
That's right. We have team coverage this morning. Both Jordan Valines and Peyton Marshall are following this major story for us now. Peyton, let's start with you. You were first on the scene. What are you seeing now?
Yeah, well, first I want to note that we did get confirmed the structural damage to the steel, and the damage is exactly what I'm seeing here. And just for perspective, I'm at Sawyer Point and Yateman's Cove, the playground, which I've passed by so many times. This is what's left of the playground. Now that the sun has come up, you're able to get more of a view of what that looks like. You know, when we first arrived hours ago, it was hard for me to even determine that this was in fact the playground that so many people pass by. And also, just for perspective, so you guys can get an idea, what's right behind it are those pickleball and tennis courts. You can still see some of the smoke there, and earlier this morning you were seeing lots of firefighters just working on some of those hot spots. But what I want you guys to do is to take a look up at the top right there of the bridge. That's where we saw firefighters and CPD officers just pacing back and forth with flashlights pointed up at the top there. That's what we're looking at. And right above that, as you guys know, that's 471 directly above. And I want to show you guys some video of what we saw when we first arrived, because I know I'm showing you the aftermath right now, some of this damage. But this is the video that we saw when we arrived on scene. That smoke just blanketing 471 directly above the bridge, and you could see just the expansion of those flames just bellowing under that bridge. Now, I know that there's still a lot of questions left unanswered. We've been seeing a couple of people. I've seen a couple of runners, a couple of walkers who've come up and asked, because they came up here, they saw the caution tape, they asked questions. But aside from that, not many people over here. I know the crews have been working hard to keep things roped off, keep things blocked off, just for safety precautions as they continue to investigate this. This is something we're going to be keeping an eye on for you. For now, though, I'm going to send it back to you.
And yeah, Peyton, I'll take it from here. So, you know, one of the things that when we first got on scene that they had to do that was absolutely imperative to the investigation, they had to simply secure the scene. That included moving us from underneath the bridge. That's actually where the media was initially told to go when they arrived here this morning. So we thought at that point that we were a safe distance away from the fire and from those points of kind of those smoldering points, those hot spots that kept popping up this morning. However, about 2 hours ago, they decided that it was simply unsafe for us to still be underneath the bridge itself, so they had to secure the area. Actually, this new police tape, this new caution tape right here behind me, that was put up here in the past 30 minutes or so. Now the next step is going to be the investigative element of this. We've seen teams of investigators already here throughout this morning, and I know that Mike Schell said in his report as well that they're waiting on ODOT. They're waiting for those teams to now kind of be the next level of this, now that they have everything secured. Now the investigation and kind of what comes next is a little bit on pause right now as they wait for those teams from ODOT to arrive here on scene. But yeah, again, right where Eggleston meets Pete Rose Way, this portion, or I should say kind of directly, this little gap here right underneath the bridge there is still shut down. Fire crews still back there, and actually it's still smoldering, believe it or not, all these hours later. So we're still going to be out here, and again, hopefully get more information from officers that are walking around. That number is certainly lessened as the hours have gone on this morning, as they've made their way certainly kind of more towards the base, towards the nexus of where all of this happened. But we'll check in here in just a little bit. For now, I'll send it back to you guys.
Hey, Jordan, I'd be curious also, as their investigation gets on this morning, it was initially reported as a multi-vehicle crash, so hopefully, have you seen a burned up vehicle anywhere? Because we know the fire spread to the park there after that happened earlier this morning. You seeing that anywhere at all from where you are?
So, Steph, that's actually a really good question. All that I've been able to see, though, just from our vantage point, is just beneath this actual bridge itself. So I've not been able to initially, or I should say from where I'm standing, I have not been able to see anything that would confirm or deny a multi-vehicle accident. However, again, when you're talking about how hot it got in order for it to actually warp steel, that's one of the things, that's one of the big questions. That's the question we're talking about, is what even could have caused that, because an accelerant of some sorts, I mean, would be imagined here. But again, I'll keep checking.
All right, Jordan, appreciate that. Just a simple question there, because absolutely it was reported initially as a vehicle crash, but you've got a lot of leaves on the ground. You have dry wood with that playground there. It wouldn't take a lot to set that thing up. And of course, the flames did do some damage, as we now know, to the Ohio end of the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge. So your first alert right now, Daniel Carter Beard is shut down north and southbound. Expect several hours, if not several days at this point. I-471 is also blocked at 275, so you cannot get on 471 from 275. And don't want to also mention here at Elmore Street eastbound, there is a two-car crash. Police are just getting on scene, but it's a long backup to Montana right now. So don't ignore that, because we have other things happening, but we know the bridge is a huge deal. Also, right here, the barrier's in place at 275 and 471, so you cannot get on to 471. AA Highway and 27 are your best workarounds. Daniel Carter Beard will remain closed indefinitely. Some of that debris that was falling off of there, our videographer capturing there. Let's zoom into the scene there, because you can see where this was all initially reported, and everything in purple right now. So Route 8, you can come over the Taylor Southgate. That's jamming up in red. I almost never see it in red. Also, the Roebling and Claywade Bailey, all are your workarounds between Newport, Covington, and downtown Cincinnati. 275 still your best option. And don't forget, this is where we're also looking at that crash at Elmore that's causing slowdowns eastbound on 74. Let's get two looks for you right now. Let's start in northern Kentucky, Johns Hill Road, as you're trying to go toward Newport. Keeping in mind, as you get around the curve there, you will not be allowed to get on 471. Now let's also look at the backup on 74 as you're coming eastbound. Police are on scene. Two vehicle crash, those two right there, and traffic is slowly getting by in the two right lanes. Guys?